has been trying to speak to you for a long time, but you simply haven't noticed. Now pause for a moment and read today's verse, because in a moment we're going to explore 5 things God may be trying to reveal to you through these words right now. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Jeremiah 33:3. Many people believe God only speaks through extraordinary miracles, through dramatic signs, through life-changing events that are impossible to ignore. But what if most of God's messages come in a much quieter way? What if what looks like coincidence is actually direction? What if what you called a delay was actually protection? What if what feels like a season of silence is simply God preparing something you cannot see yet? What appears to be absence is not always abandonment. In this verse, God doesn't just promise an answer. He promises revelation. He promises to show you things you cannot yet see. And that brings us to the first thing God may be trying to show you today. Number 1, not every silence means God is distant. There is a common belief among Christians. When prayers are not answered immediately, many assume God has gone silent. But that is not always true. In nature, there are seasons when everything appears still. The field appears still. The field seems empty. The tree seems lifeless. The seed seems forgotten. Yet beneath the surface, activity continues. Growth continues. Preparation continues. The same is true in your spiritual life. The detail most people miss is that God works far beyond what we can observe. While you are waiting for an answer, He may be arranging circumstances, preparing people, opening the right doors, closing the wrong ones, protecting you from decisions that look good today, but would hurt you tomorrow. What feels like silence may actually be preparation, and that changes everything about how you view your waiting season. But that's not even the most surprising part. Number 2, what seems repetitive may actually be a message. Have you noticed how certain things keep appearing in your life? The same Bible verse, the same conversation, the same lesson, the same conviction. Many people dismiss these moments as coincidence, but throughout Scripture, God often uses repetition to capture attention. When something keeps returning to your mind, perhaps it is not random. Perhaps there is a lesson you have not fully learned. Perhaps there is a step of faith you have not yet taken. Perhaps there is a change you know you need to make, but continue postponing. And here's the interesting part. Many people ask God for new answers while ignoring the guidance He has already provided. They want fresh direction without acting on previous instruction. That is why this verse speaks about hidden things. Because sometimes the problem is not a lack of revelation. It is a lack of attention. And the next sign is one that most people completely overlook. Number 3, closed doors may be speaking loud. It is a lack of attention. And the next sign is one that most people completely overlook. Number 3, closed doors may be speaking louder than open ones. When things don't go according to our plans, our first reaction is often disappointment. But is every closed door truly a defeat? The Bible repeatedly shows God protecting people through obstacles. What looked like rejection became redirection. What looked like loss became protection. Science also tells us that human beings struggle to accurately predict future outcomes. We often judge situations based only on how they make us feel in the moment. But God sees the entire picture. You see one chapter, He sees the whole story. That is why some divine answers do not come through open doors. doors. They come through limitations, delays, unexpected changes. What feels like rejection may actually be God's guidance. What feels like loss may actually be His protection. And when you understand this, your relationship with life's challenges begins to change. But there is something even deeper hidden in this verse. Number 4, God may be preparing you before He gives you what you asked for. Imagine giving great responsibility to someone who is not yet ready to handle it. Would that be a blessing or a burden? Many of us pray for prosperity, growth, opportunities, resources, success. But we rarely ask whether we are prepared to manage what we are requesting. The Bible consistently teaches the principle of stewardship. Before expansion comes preparation. Before harvest comes cultivation. Before promotion comes character development. The detail that many people overlook is that God is not only interested in giving blessings, He is interested in shaping people who can sustain them. Perhaps that is why some answers take longer than expected. Not because God forgot you, but because He loves you enough to prepare you. And now we come to the part that completely changes how we see this verse. Number 5. God may be trying to reveal something you never thought to ask for. Most prayers focus on specific needs, but Jeremiah 33:3 is not only about receiving answers, it is about receiving revelation. Hidden things you do not yet know, and that is extraordinary. Because God is not limited by the questions you ask. He sees needs you haven't recognized. He sees opportunities you haven't noticed. He knows paths that have never crossed your mind. Perhaps the greatest blessing is not receiving exactly what you requested. Perhaps it is discovering what God had planned all along. Because God's plans are often bigger than our expectations. Broader, deeper, more complete. And when we truly understand this, we begin to trust His direction more than our own control. Maybe that is exactly what God is